This right here is a wild story. More like fantasy. But why anybody would fantasize about this, I don't know. On his Grilling JR podcast, Jim Ross was discussing the possibility of Shane McMahon showing up in AEW. And he said the idea is so crazy that it just might work. Since then, his co-host, Conrad Thompson, has revealed that he received a text message from a friend that they both know, who claimed that Shane McMahon has actually reached out to AEW talents about hypothetically joining the promotion. He said, there was a friend of ours, he went out of his way to text me, hey, that's not as crazy as you think. I know for sure that Shane McMahon has reached out to wrestlers on the AEW roster to at least hypothetically discuss the idea. Dave Meltzer chimed in The Observer and said one person noted to him that there was a conversation between McMahon and an ex-WWE talent in AEW, and it was described as not a pitch to get in, just two people chatting when McMahon said something to the effect of, can you imagine if I walked out there on Dynamite? Not as if he was actually pitching anything. They said it wasn't serious, and that would explain why no key people in AEW had even heard of it before. Conrad talked about it. Thompson did not talk about it as seriously as if it would happen either, just that he had knowledge of the conversation. When Meltzer asked Tony Khan about Shane, Khan told him, I've never met him or talked to him in my life. Who is asking for this? The whole appeal of AEW from the very start was that there were no McMahons in the company. It was a McMahon-free zone. There was a time many years ago when Shane was younger where it was fun to see him do stupid stunts. And he was good for the occasional big match. He had his working shoes on, but those days are long gone. The last time we saw him, he tore his quad doing a leapfrog. Before that, his matches were no good. I have no desire to see any of the McMahons back on TV, and Shane used to be the tolerable one because he was likable and he wasn't overexposed. I don't have anything against the man personally, but this is not a move that is going to benefit AEW in the ways that some people think that it would. You know, the year before he tore his quad, he made enough of an ass out of himself behind the scenes of the Royal Rumble and rubbed people the wrong way enough that his own father basically fired him and sent him home. Yet there are people rooting for this and hoping it happens. Yes, it would be surreal to see a McMahon show up on AEW television, right? The same show that Shane's own son called crap. He said he doesn't watch that crap. That's what Declan McMahon said. It would be wild to see his dad show up there. And then after the shock of that moment wears off and he sweats his way through his first promo, beat red in the face, then what? You know, if he was back on WWE television on a regular basis, I wouldn't want to see that either. Just because the initials are different doesn't suddenly make it a good idea. You know, people talk about the problems that AEW has. I don't want to hear these same people advocating for Tony Khan to hire Shane McMahon. Too many people live in the moment to trend on social media, and they don't think about what happens when the trend wears off. Then what? Shane McMahon being the money man behind the Elite? Trying to take over Tony Khan's company? How is that going to be any different than what we've seen in the Elite storyline so far? Abusing their power, all while Tony Khan sits in the back and makes his own decisions anyway. What are you going to do? You're going to run back NWO Red and White? Going to build to a match between Tony Khan and Shane McMahon? I'm going to stop now before I start giving them any ideas. If they want somebody who's willing to fall off things from really high up, that's what they have Darby Allin for. And Tony wouldn't have to spend nearly as much on him as he would to get Shane McMahon. And Kota Ibushi, who underwent surgery on his right ankle several months ago after wrestling Naomichi Marufuji in January in that terrible match. Ibushi had no business even being in the ring for that, and then he hurt himself even worse, to where they had to call an ambulance for him once he got to the back. He tweeted on Monday the following, which is a troubling sign. I have a strange feeling in my left ankle, the inner ankle. It's missing. I wonder if there's a way to fix this as quickly as possible. I've tried a lot of different things. I'm still undergoing rehabilitation at the hospital. Does anyone know? Twitter is not the place to go for medical advice. And asking how to fix something as quickly as possible is even worse. It sounds like this man hasn't learned a damn thing. So that was troubling enough. Then came the announcement on Thursday that Ibushi, the man who was only days earlier on Twitter asking for how quickly I can fix my ankle, is going to be competing in a 5-minute exhibition on July 1st to celebrate the 20th anniversary of his pro wrestling debut, which took place on that exact day in 2004. The exhibition is taking place in conjunction with Japanese promotion GLEAT, their 3rd anniversary show at Tokyo Dome City Hall. GLEAT tweeted that while Ibushi is still injured, he wants to express his gratitude to the fans with this exhibition. Ibushi thanked the president of GLEAT and said that he is going to give it his all, no matter who he faces. And in another update on social media, Ibushi said he's now feeling 85% healthy. Of course, if my current doctor in Japan tells me that I can compete, I will report to AEW and return immediately. I am now 85% alive. Please wait a little bit more. I wish he would take his own advice. And please wait a little bit more. You're almost there. I mean, he really fucked himself up. It was bad. And he finally got surgery, which he tried to avoid, which was obviously a bad idea. And I was hopeful that he would take the time to heal up, and then maybe we would get some semblance of the old Ibushi, but we're never going to get that Kota Ibushi back from 2021 when he got hurt against Okada in the G1 final. That Ibushi ain't coming back. But maybe we can get some semblance of a Kota Ibushi who can go out there and still have good matches and can stay healthy. This doesn't inspire a lot of confidence here. He's going to fuck this all up, and he's going to set himself back another 9 months. Anyway, let's get to the mailbag. Why are people the way they are? Why are people the way they are? It's like the people when I talked about Adam Copeland after he fucked up his knees at the last pay-per-view, and they're like, they're not your knees. It's none of your business. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. Rah! Then we found out he broke his leg. So I commented on it, but apparently you're not allowed to do that sort of thing. You're not allowed to show concern for other people.